What's up, guys? Max here. So yesterday we did tip number 1 of the day, and so we have 14 days left of tips at a minimum. So yesterday we talked about polarization, right? So creating ad copy and ad content creatives that are polarizing in nature, not being afraid to do that, right, Hookie? You like to be polarizing. Come on. So actually, I don't think she's that polarizing because nobody can look at her and not love that face. But anyway, maybe there's not dog people out there. So maybe for the cat people out there, she's polarizing. But anyway, so we talked about how being polarizing is important. And if you didn't watch that video and you want to learn about how we're doing polarization using interactive content, things like polls, some really cool stuff, go back and watch the first video because there's a lot of good stuff in there. Okay, so I'm going to pretend like you went and watched it. You came back here, you paused it. Now we're restarting. Cool. You watched that video. Let's move on to tip number 2. So polarization isn't the only thing you can do. As you move further down funnel, there are other tactics you need to take into consideration to get people truly engaged and to truly identify themselves as your target customer. Basically, to self-identify themselves, to associate themselves with your customer base. So one of the easiest ways to do that is to sprinkle elements of personalization throughout the copy, throughout the creative. And when I say personalization, I'm not talking about those Teespring ads you see back in the day that had your last name on the t-shirt, right? That doesn't fly anymore. And getting that personalized is a easy way and a quick way, a surefire way to get your account banned and get kicked off of Facebook if you break those rules. So we're not recommending that. We're not talking about throwing, the names, anything like that. Super specific identifiers is a no-go, and Facebook has definitely pushed back against that. What I'm talking about more is like macro level identifiers, things that we as human beings associate ourselves with, right? Every human is unique. We're made up of hundreds and thousands of pieces of things, right? We define ourselves by a wide variety of interests, demographics, behaviors, and some are more important than others, right? So every person has sports they like, teams they like, people they like, movies they like, food they like. They have different hair color. They have different body sizes. They have different health issues. They have different, strengths, weaknesses. They have different religions. They have different passions. They have different goals. So there's all these different things that make each one of us truly unique, right? Every human is truly unique to some extent. Even people that are identical twins like different things, like different music, like different movies, and all of that further divides us and makes us unique as we go. So as an advertiser, we need to start looking at, well, in our target customer base, so our best customers, who are they? What makes them up? What are the identifiers that brought them to us, that relate to our product, that we can reference in the copy, in the creative, to get people that are scrolling through their feed to say, hey, that's me. That's who I am. That's something that I can relate to. And if I have words, keywords, images, anything in that ad that is relevant and personal to somebody, it dramatically increases the chance that they're going to stop and pay attention to it. And so I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that most advertisers are making today is they're trying to go too broad, right? You hear a lot of advertisers talking about how, go super broad, go no targeting. And actually, I do think that that's a fair strategy. And in future videos, I'll talk about how we do targeting, how we're using CBO. And I do think zero targeting or going really, really broad has a lot of benefits. And it's something we do a lot. However, don't mistake going broad with creating lazy generic copy. That's the mistake I think people make, is they go broad on the targeting, but that only works if the ad itself is targeted, personal, and has those identifiers in it. Otherwise, you're not going to get anybody's attention because then you're just a generic ad hitting generic people. Then there's no chance, right? So if you want to go broad, if you want to hit 30, 50 plus million people, that ad needs to speak to a subset of people in that group in a way that they're going to say, hey, that's me. Okay, so let's talk about an example here. So one of our clients that we had for a long time, they're no longer a client of ours, full disclosure. They had some ad account issues, some Amazon issues. But anyway, when we were running traffic for them, They had an all natural topical pain relief product, right? So really, really great product, like an icy hot, but it was all natural, had no chemicals, super high quality ingredients. It was like 4 or 5 ingredients, and it really worked. It was an amazing product. Now, what most people would do, like if that was thrown up as an affiliate product, right? Most people would go super broad. They would talk about how this, it's all natural and how it helps with pain relief and it's great for athletes and it's great for things. And it would try to be as broad as possible to apply to as many people as possible. The landing page would be generic. It would be just like Icy Hot, right? Because Icy Hot's made it work, so we can make it work. Big mistake. That's I think there's a problem sometimes with thinking too big. Some people think too big, and because they think too big, they consider anything that's not, hundreds of millions of people not worth their time. Now, here's what's interesting. You know how many millions of people there are in America with arthritis or sciatica or plantar fasciitis? I'm going to go over here and Google it. Number of Americans with arthritis. Let's put it in there. 40 million people. So 40 million people in the United States are affected by arthritis. That's a lot of people. And I'm one of them. So I have psoriatic arthritis. I've had it for 10 years. Take an injection every 3 months because of it. I deal with like a tremendous amount of pain in my feet and knees. But anyway, it's not a sad story for me. What I'm saying is that I identify, that's an identifier of me, right? I have psoriatic arthritis. I have a medical condition, right? Other people that have medical conditions, that is a core identifier of who they are. If you have diabetes, if you have, plantar fasciitis, if you have neuropathy, if you have, any of these conditions, it's part of who you are. It's not a great part of who you are, but it's still a part of who you are. And so when you see things on TV where they're referencing that, when you see an ad, when you pay attention to it because it's speaking to you, because it's a condition you have, it's who you are. So instead of running ads just saying, hey, product X is great for pain relief, it's all natural, it'll help anybody relieve pain, which is super generic, super boring, we want to sprinkle elements of personalization in there. So what we did instead is say, product X we're on a mission to help the 40 million, hardworking, passionate Americans dealing with arthritis, bravely dealing with arthritis, combat that pain. Whatever it might be. It was a much better sentence when we wrote in the ad. I don't have it in front of me. But it referenced elements of, arthritis and the community. How many people have arthritis? It made them sound brave and that they're, dealing with it and we understand their pain and their frustration. And then the the video we ran, the top bar text was something like, one simple ingredient or this one ingredient's helping Americans with arthritis everywhere, or something like that. We had those elements of arthritis kind of sprinkled throughout. And then the video itself was a montage video showing different customers with arthritis applying it to areas where arthritis usually hits. And that was another big thing, because a lot of people, when they make like personalization in their video or in their ads, they use images or videos that aren't actually from that condition. And the people that have that condition or deal with whatever that issue is, they know that right out of the gate, right? Like, hey, you don't have arthritis pain in your, in your head, right? Or whatever it might be, like on your stomach. And so they call BS that seems inauthentic. So you want to make sure that the video matches the targeting, matches the copy. And so the video showed real people with arthritis using the actual product to put it on areas where arthritic pain is really serious. So the video was personalized, the copy was personalized, and because of that, we got the people that had arthritis to engage with it. It was the right person. And then they went to a landing page, and guess what? On the landing page, we didn't just have a generic landing page. We had personalization sprinkled throughout there. We created a template. That template, you don't have to create from scratch every time. A bulk of it stayed the same, about 90% of it, but the other 10% changed based on the condition. So the headline used arthritis in it, the images use arthritis, the call to action had arthritis in it. And so the entire experience was personalized enough for that 40 million person group in our audience. And guess what? We could replicate that with every other condition that causes pain. So we didn't just have arthritis, we had sciatica, neuropathy, plantar fasciitis, back pain. We had all these different conditions, diabetic nerve pain, and each one had its own campaign. Each one duplicated the winning copy formula, the winning creative formula, but we changed the number of Americans dealing with it. We changed the name of the condition. We changed the images and the montage, and we changed the landing page. So to recap, it is really, really important if you want to stand out, not just on Facebook or Instagram, but any ad placement today, because it is so competitive. Attention spans are so short that if somebody doesn't feel, if they don't see elements that engage, entertain, or spark some type of that's for me while they're scrolling through the feed, they're not going to pay attention to it, right? So generic ad copy, bland ad copy, boring ad copy, non-polarizing ad copy, non-personalized ad copy just doesn't work anymore. And so yesterday we talked about being polarizing, that's being a good thing. Being personalized, that's a good thing as well. And if you can do both of those things, you're going to dramatically increase your click-through rates. You're going to dramatically increase your conversion rates. You're going to dramatically increase your quality score, your engagement score, your conversion score, all things that are so important on Facebook today. And so take a minute, not even take a minute, take a day with your business and start thinking about, who is my target customer? Who are they? What are they made up of, right? What are they, when you ask them a question, who are you? What are you interested in? What makes you up? What do they say? And actually go ask your customers, right? Go talk to people that have the problem your product solves and understand those personalized kind of compartments within them. And ones that you see consistent throughout your customer base, start incorporating that into your ad copy, into your ad creative, into your landing page. It's going to be a game changer for your business. So I hope that helped. Again, 2 days back to back of kind of copy strategy, targeting strategy. In the coming days, we're going to kind of dive in deeper. We're going to talk about campaign structure. We're going to talk about some great new targeting strategies. We're going to talk about scaling strategies, manual bidding, advanced segmentation, retargeting strategies, some landing page stuff, psychology, consumer psychology. So we're going to cover a lot of stuff in the coming days. So you want to make sure you tune in every day for the tip of the day. This is tip number 2, being personalized, how powerful it is. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And make sure you click, I don't know where I'm going to be. I always get backwards. You're going to click somewhere to the left or right of me. There's a button to reserve your seat for my upcoming webinar. It's going to be a one-off training where we're dropping basically the entire ad strategy we've invented from scratch in the last 6 months based on all the Facebook changes. Because what worked a year ago doesn't work anymore. So we've had to go back to the drawing board, create a brand new playbook for everything. And we're doing a training on the 23rd, basically pulling back the curtain, and we're sharing everything. The entire playbook, from how we do research to how we scale on the back end and everything in between. So you want to make sure you save your seat for that. This is not some fake scarcity. This is not an auto webinar. This is a legit live webinar. We're doing one of them. So there's no BS here. And you want to make sure you save your seat for that. You don't want to miss it. So click that button, save your seat, and make sure you show up on the 23rd. Thanks, guys.